Well, hello guys. This is Don Griffith. I'm going to describe the setup I use for Zoom and WebEx, just to give some context to how I do it. Right now you're looking at my dual screens. Not everybody has two screens, but I do, and I use them. The left screen is usually for the WebEx session or the Zoom session. The right screen is for documents or email or another website or something that I might need to refer to during the meeting. You'll notice that this is a desktop, and so it doesn't have a built-in camera, but it does have a camera here. This is a Logitech, and I've got a little better view of it over here. I've got a second one. This is a Logitech. It's a 1080p high def. I think this is the model 920. And you can see I've got it on this little miniature tripod. The bottom of the webcam has the standard 1/4-20 thread to hook up to a tripod. And that you might find very helpful. I do when for instance, if I'm sitting here, I can have the camera looking at me as I sit and talk, or if I'm just a participant in the meeting. But if I want to present, what I will do is step aside and maybe look this direction. Now you can see where that cam is. I can hook that up, and right now it's at about my eye level, which is, by the way, one of the recommendations. Put your camera at eye level if you can. The trickiest part of all of this for Toastmasters is looking at the camera. We are trained to do eye contact. And when you're on a screen, this isn't a WebEx screen, but it is a pathway screen. Let's say I was trying to talk to this woman here. My natural tendency is to look at her as I speak, instead of looking up here at the microphone. So look at the microphone, or I'm sorry, the camera. Look at the camera. It's important. That's the way you make eye contact with a virtual audience, is with the camera. Now let's talk about lighting. My room here has some standard lights. You can see that one light behind the screen. That is to give some backfill. And it's not really for the meeting so much as it is just for general lighting in my office. Off to the side, I've got some windows that I can open. And you notice if I'm sitting here, the lamp that you see as well as the window are on my face. They're not in the camera's view. The camera doesn't see those lights. Off to the side, I have another lamp, which again gives general room illumination. And I also have in my office built-in lights in the ceiling. You can see those up there, shining down on this stained glass window and illuminating that side of the room without anything special. Now, I do have another device here. This is a LED light that I owned. I didn't get it specifically for this, but when I'm doing WebEx calls and I'm seated, I will turn that on, and that lights my face. And I happen to have it on a microphone boom so I can move it around. The best position of these lights, by the way, is not directly at your face. That is generally not the best. What I would recommend would be off to the side, like this. And that's how they light movie scenes and TV studios. They don't put lights directly in front of the person. They come in from the side. So we've talked about the camera. We've talked about lighting. It's important, by the way, that if you turn this around and look back where I will be seating, there are no lights. There are nothing lights. I've seen it more than once where members turn on a light behind them, and not only is that distracting to the viewer, but it confuses the camera. The camera in computers is kind of automatic. It tries to do the best it can at figuring out what the exposure is and what the light looks like. So if there's a light in the background, it will take over, and your face might end up being dark. So turn off any lights behind you and turn on lights to the side and behind the camera. The last area is microphones. People have a lot of trouble with sound, and I get that. This little Logitech, it's not just a camera. If you notice on the sides, it's a stereo microphone. It plugs into your computer with this cord, which is just a standard USB. And the particular one I have, the Logitech, comes with a little software that allows you to adjust the zooming and this color and the exposure. So if you're able to pay a little extra to get a better camera, consider the Logitech 920. It's about 100, maybe 120, depends on where you go, and they're kind of in short supply right at the moment, but eventually you'll be able to get one. The other options for sound are headsets like this. Now, I happen to use this particular webset for the telephone. It's a wireless Bluetooth, and I could use it on Zoom calls. I just don't. It gets a little complicated if you have more than one Bluetooth thing connected to your computer. But what I do use most of the time are the earbuds. These are the Apple, and those are Bluetooth, and they work pretty well. They have good sound on the listening side, and reasonable sound on the microphone side. It's not the best. Now, if you happen to have better microphones, different kinds of microphones, try them and see what works best for you. I happen to do semi-professional video work, so I have these wireless microphones where I can hook up a wireless lavalier, feed that with this little mixing box into my computer. So we've talked about cameras, we've talked about lighting, and we've talked about sound. If you need any extra information from me, you can contact me anytime. You can email me at don@griffith.com. All right, that's it for the quick tour of Don's WebEx and Zoom studio.